I'm gonna need us to survive one session without blaming feminism for everything. I do not understand how feminism is responsible for the fact that marriage and the concept of being with another person is romanticized. Feminism was a fight for equity, equality when it comes to socio-political landscapes. Nothing related to I want to make sure that I love my man and you're making me not have to love him. That's dumb.
Was marriage ever really about love or survival?
I would say that it started out as survival, and I think that we have tried to make it evolve into love. But yeah, initially it was just about survival.
All right.
Yeah,
Anyone
I would
else?
agree. I would agree. Marriage has always been a contract to exchange, whether it be securing lineage or securing land or securing and transferring wealth. It has literally never started on the concept of love. You know, we talk a lot about traditional versus modern. I think one of the most modern things you can have is actually a marriage based on love.
I actually agree with both of them, and I would even go as far as to say the reason why marriages don't work nowadays is because we base it off of love. Um, and a lot of us, love, we think of love as a feeling rather than a decision, a constant choice you have to make with another person, actual commitment. So once that love goes away, right, love can be fleeting, then that relationship is no longer important, which is why marriages don't last nowadays.
I want to say something too. I would say, I don't know if I can put it into survival or love, but the process of marriage happened because you're inviting another person into your family. You're adding another member to your family, and hopefully expecting more members to come through that marriage. Formally adding another member to your family is like how humans used to live in tribes. You're making your tribe bigger. So I don't know if that is survival or if that is human tribalism. I don't know what you would call it.
I think that would quite literally be survival.
I was just about to say the same
Like,
thing, pretty.
yeah, growing
It's like,
growing
how could
your
they survive
village,
if they didn't do that?
having more people around you, like that's very, very much survival. Yeah.
Marriage has always been a business merger. Like that's how it started. We're not going to move away from that. When we started to modernize things and folks like De Beers started to get in, the commercial industry started to make things change. We exchanged, cattle for the diamond engagement ring, and everything went to hell from there. You can call any banquet hall and say, hey, I want to have a party, and they'll quote you one price. You can call that same banquet hall and say, I'm going to have a wedding reception same day, same time, and that price is automatically going to quadruple, if not quintuple. It's big business for the merchants, and it's so on all of this Disney and a diamond is forever, they live happily ever after BS that we bought into. But it's always been about power. Kings married for power and strategy. Sometimes people even married their own cousins so that they could keep their bloodlines as royal as humanly possible. It is not an uncommon thing. Arranged marriages were there because the fathers of the bride and groom had business that they wanted to make sure stayed together. It's not an uncommon thing. This is a relatively new thing going back just a couple hundred years when it comes to this whole romance, love leading thing. So yeah.
I agree with the panel. I mean, I think that marriage was a contract between two people. Mainly back in the day, it was because of royalty and land and, people trying to get an obscene amount of wealth. And so I think that, in the last couple hundred years, we've romanticized it. And I think that came with like feminism and everything else. Everybody wanted to care about how people feel, and our feelings, just the way we feel emotionally, it superseded anything else. Like we put our feelings above it. And I think that all of that happened around the same time. And I have to agree with the synopsis of the panel. The marriage is a contract. And I know, and hey Amada, in her culture, like they still arrange marriages, and I don't have a problem with it. Like I think that if the marriage is arranged, then at least someone can vouch for somebody, instead of everybody just going out here, because everybody can't find someone on their own. So I think that it's set up to where you can, someone else can find that person. And I just feel like love can come later. I don't necessarily feel like you have to be in love to be successful in life or to live a good life. So, sometimes partnerships work and sometimes that does not involve the action or choice of being in love.
Since the commercialism has been infused into the marriage, I think that's when we saw to see a massive decline in what we now know as marriage. We all know that it was just for joining of the families. It was strategic. People wanted to build on their wealth. I think we got more away from that and bought into the fantasy that mostly Western civilization has served us. They told us what we were supposed to do. This is just part of the programming to have us docile and do what it is that we want to do. This romanticization of or romanticizing of the marriage, it just made it unholy at this point, and the expectations have completely changed from what it is that people were expecting before. They were expected to be in a better position for their family financially. Now people are expected to be a certain height. They are worried about what the look is, and what they're doing with weddings is just blasphemy, in my opinion. Why would you spend 30, 40, 50,000, half a million, some of these fools, just so you could show off to other people to say, look, yeah, we did it. And it's no more egregious as what they've done to holidays that we celebrate and everything else. People found a way to commercialize and get to the bag. That's all it is. And us being a consumer based society, it falls right in line with what they should have done to fool people like us.
I'm gonna need us to survive one session without blaming feminism for everything. I do not understand how feminism is responsible for the fact that marriage and the concept of being with another person is romanticized. Feminism was a fight for equity, equality when it comes to socio-political landscapes. Nothing related to I want to make sure that I love my man and you're making me not have to love him. That's dumb. Like, so I'm sorry, let me not say it that way. That is not the goal of feminism. So I need feminism to not have to catch every single stray. They can catch some, but that's not a feminism thing. What happened was, and breaking it down, marriage was about the exchanging of wealth. When wealth began to be consolidated, right? Meaning when you're consolidating wealth to the top, where less and less of the general population have wealth, and we are steadily shrinking the middle class, what happens is that in order to keep patriarchy alive, you need to sell a dream. So now you need to sell the idea of love. You need a man's love. You need a man's protection, because that man doesn't have land. He doesn't have cattle no more. He don't have little goats, little cows. He doesn't even have the baby little pot belly pigs. He doesn't have anything except for this idea that a woman needs him to be there so she can feel as though she is worthy, right? So the idea is, as we're tricking people with the concept of love, we're going to keep consolidating wealth to the top. All of these dreams have been sold to us many times. We talk about the nuclear family and, the real estate sector. We talk about all these things and how it was all a ploy. The whole concept of romantic love is because when you're snatching money and resources away from those men, they can't uphold patriarchy anymore. They can't do the things that say I'm the protector and the provider, because I can't provide because we are in capitalism. So I need you to stay because of love and loyalty. And especially in the Black community, Black women stay because of love and loyalty. We don't stay because of security with financial wealth. So I need us to not blame feminism for every single thing. Like, let's be very clear.
I don't think
Okay,
that, I
Tom.
think that we
Oh,
were having the same point, and maybe you misunderstood what I said, because I wasn't blaming feminism. What I was saying was feminism contributed to the romanticism of marriage, which is exactly what you said. I said it all happened around the same time, and I do agree with that. It pushed for women to be independent, just like you said. And if you're no longer dependent on men, then what other way would you need them? It would be for love. So that's just my take on it, and that's my stance. I haven't been on a panel in a while, so pushing maybe I wasn't pushing feminism. That was just my ideology of why it happened, is because I did think that it kind of shifted the narrative around that time, because women were like, I want to pay my own bills, I can do this, I can do that, I can do all of the things on my own. So when it came to a relationship, they no longer needed a man for that. So then it's like, well, what do I need a man for? I need them to help me emotionally. I want them to be emotionally available. I want them to love me. I want them to do all of these things. So that's just my take on it. I wouldn't say that it's to blame. I didn't use those words. But I will say that it accelerated the romanticizing of marriage. That's just my take on it.
My mic's working pretty. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay. The reason I asked is because I could have sworn I never uttered the word feminism. I don't even know where that came from.
Yeah, I was so
But
confused.
yeah, I definitely didn't say feminism. I said that it was commercialized by the powers that be. That's
Yeah, I said I was
that's
responsible.
yeah, and that's different. Okay, maybe my ears aren't working then, because I could have sworn I heard my name. But either way, just to I guess bring this point home, I completely blamed it on commercialism. Right, that's what's happened, and has it helped to absolutely deteriorate marriages? For sure. When you have people coming into marriages for the wrong reasons, absolutely. And I'm not saying that it's wrong for a person to love. It's great to love your companion, but if it's built on love alone and it's not built on a foundation, and you're not aligned spiritually, morally, then yeah, you're going to have some issues. I just think we're going in the wrong direction, and that is probably the worst reason that I could think of, is the commercialization of it.